Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Sadie. This is the first time that we meet, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about cross stitch. So welcome, thank you for finding me. And I usually kind of like just jump in, sometimes ask about the weather. It's pretty cold here, it snowed a lot today. So was busy at work, but then I always get excited when I get to come and chat with y'all about cross stitch. So I have an FFO that I did myself. I laced myself. That was a very fun experience. I'll show that here. And I've got a new start, got a couple whips, and then haul and plans for February. Because can you believe it? This month is practically done. And the moment that happened, I was just like, okay, 2025 is about to go real fast. So we are going to try to enjoy each day as much as we can. I can't just sit around all the time. So let's get in. Alrighty. So this project that I'm going to show, we'll see how we do with the ring light, is The Lamb Screaming. Oh, that's nice. By the Witchy Stitcher. So if you guys know the movie, it's one of those like, if you know, you know. And this was one of the first patterns that I bought from her back in 2022. That's when I discovered her. I bought this one. I also bought the Universal Monster Sal, but when it was already completed. And I bought the Poison Plants, but I immediately started this one. I did it on a fabric I got from her as well. I think it's a 30 count coffee stained, which looks so nice. I'll try to, like I said, bring it up as much as I can. And kind of looking at the stats, I finished this in 2 months. The hardest parts, I'd say, were the French knots on the sheep's eyes, which are on the corners. Otherwise, I mean, this was super fast. Like I said, 2 months. And then it's just been sitting, right? Sitting in my really tiny finished stash. And I said, okay, no, we have to FFO something. But I didn't want to do everything professional customed. I haven't professionally customed something up here. I'm really nervous with, like, if Michaels knows how to handle fiber arts versus paying a lot of money for someone in the area that's small town. But I saw this frame in, I want to say it was either Michaels or Hobby Lobby. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is perfect because I'm looking for a gothic-like frame. And I just, this past weekend, got the gumption to lace it myself. So I did that, got some foam board. It was like 1/2 inch. And found a YouTube video and just did it myself here. So the back so far is not terrible. I had to use the end of my seam ripper to like really dig in to push the edges as much as it can go, but I'm still afraid that if I were to hang it, that it can fall. And so I'm contemplating if I just need to put a piece of masking tape or duct tape or something on the back to make sure that the back doesn't fall out. But this is it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. So that is my one FFO. The next one that I want to FFO is the Twisted Mermaids and Dark Queen of the Earth. But I definitely want to do Twisted Mermaids, and my boyfriend is begging me to do that, but he knows because I'm wanting to go on the Mirabilia retreat in March. I want to show that there, and it would be really hard for me to travel internationally with a framed project. So I'm going to bring it unframed there to show off, and then when we come back, that's when we'll frame it. So that'll be the next one that I try to FFO. All right, I got my notes here because I felt like I was gonna go all over the place. The next one is like a start and finish, but still the work in progress for the year, and that's D20 Stitches Stitch for Price Sale. I had been waiting for the fabric to come in, and it did come in recently. And watch me leave it upstairs. Nope, I have it here. I was like, please tell me I didn't leave it upstairs. And so once I got it, I immediately started stitching on it, and I think I took maybe like 4 days of stitching, and I did it with Pirate Robin floss that I just wanted something a little wild. So this is Resistance by Mislaid Pages. This is like the call for fabric to use for the sale. And then they recommended to do it portrait style, so long ways, and to start in the upper left hand corner. And so I had to pull out my measuring tape and make sure that I put the margins and also make sure that it's gonna be centered. We'll see how it goes. So far this turned out fine, but I'll come in closer. I know she looks, I think they turned out well. Granted, right, I used Spiderweb from Pirate and Robin, and it's a pretty wild, just black and white. And I kind of went with the flow of the colors. I didn't want it to look striped. Like, I've seen the way that some variegated projects turn out, and I didn't want just stripes. So I wanted it to kind of flow wherever the pattern was going. I think it worked out fine. Thankfully, this is dark because the little stars, I did my best, and I don't think I carried any of the stars around, but that was a bit of a pain to just have to go in for a few stitches, come out, go in and come out. So finished that for the month, and yeah, wait for the next one in February. So that is this one. And then the next one that I finished the part of is the Woodland Winter Sal by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I finished part 2. Part 3 came out this past weekend. But I am surprisingly keeping up with it, which I'm super happy about. Again, if you guys have heard me chat, I don't do super well with keeping up with sals. And I think it's also they're not heavy stitches. Like the other ones that I've done are the Bella Filipina ones, which I haven't finished, and Noctiflora's Vampirum, which again I haven't finished. They are plans to be finished, at least the Seasonal Mermaids and the Vampirum. I do plan to finish this year at some point. It's just, it has not, just hadn't kept up with it. Alright. I've been doing a terrible job of how to organize my floss, but so far we got that. This is on Sapphire by Fiber on a Whim. This is a 28 count linen. And so this is, I'd say this is more than plenty of fabric for this piece. And this is a project. So part 2 was that bottom part where it's all practically full coverage with the deer and the squirrels. And it actually wasn't so bad. I don't know how I've ended up having a decent amount of projects that have symmetry in it. But I've been finding my way into figuring out how not to get burnt out by doing things twice. So far it's working. And the next part that they came out is going to be further down. So right, you see the top of that tree in the middle, and I knew that that was going to be a bigger tree. So they just came out with that bottom part, and it's going to be the bottom of the whole pattern. So I want to say it's probably down to there. So that one came out, and goodness, if I was able to do the full coverage in the time that I did, then I would say I'd be able to get that one done pretty quickly before the next one. I think the next one comes out the 6th of February, so either this weekend or next weekend will be when I finish it up. Okay. So those were my whips there. The other one is my Art Deco tree. Another symmetrical pattern. And again, I'm still definitely loving it. And again, terrible organization. Like, this is what I do. I just lump it into It's like folding it in dough. I just fold it in the project and pray that it doesn't go anywhere. So I have this in Pattern Keeper. It somehow worked enough that I could have the grids, but it doesn't delineate what specifically is pattern and what's just background. So I can't say for sure what percentage I am, but all I can say is I'm done with like the top half of the tree. And so essentially, this is Art Deco Tree by Nora Corbett in her Patreon. And I really wanted to give this a go. I think it's turning out great, but I haven't seen anyone else try to stitch it, so I'm just crossing fingers that it's looking great. There's a lot of that empty spot in the middle. It's a lot of beads. She put a lot of beads in this one, which I usually do last. I don't know if I'll try to come in a little closer so you guys can see. But I did the deer. So I mainly did the antlers, which were so fascinating because it almost looks like the antlers turn into candles. And granted, there's no wick or light that is there, but it definitely looks like that. And I thought that was super cool. And then lots of gold on the top part. So from here on the bottom, it changes color for the tree. So I myself changed the greens that were for this pattern. It was supposed to be Karen water lilies, but I was very impatient and I went to my LNS here in Bangor and I just wanted some close enough colors to start. So I got Emerald. Emerald is the dark green one. I got this one for the top tree. That was the top part. And then the bottom part, I think she wanted, not fur, but like a Karen water lily that seemed a little bit muted. And I don't know if that's probably how she wanted it. But again, I haven't ever seen this stitched. And I wanted something with a little bit more of color. So I chose something a bit more saturated, which was this Bejeweled. And they were both Classic Colorworks, which I hadn't worked with before. And here it's coming out very blue. Like when I see it, it's more of a teal green. Like a teal green with shades of darker teal. But yeah, the camera's making it look very blue. But that's going to be for the bottom part of the tree. So my goal for the Mirabilia retreat in Australia was to have a finished Mirabilia, which is my Twisted Mermaids, to have a finished Nora Corbett design, which I had completed Sagittarius. So, right, technically that one's done, which is fantastic. But I put the challenge for myself that I wanted to put a series of the zodiacs based off of their elements. So I'm trying to get the other two done with Sagittarius, which is Aries and Leo, as fire signs. And I'll show you because I'll talk about in my plans starting Aries in February. So my goal is to have all the fire signs done and on that fabric, again for March for the retreat. And then I wanted to also have a Nora Corbett Patreon pattern done. And that's my Art Deco tree. So goal is to get this tree finished this coming month. So in February. And I definitely think it's doable. The bottom part is a little bit more hefty that I saw. And again, the whole thing is symmetrical. It's mirror images of each other. And I haven't burnt myself out on them yet, so we will see how we go for the next one. So now let me put my disaster of an organization skills back in its little burrito. And then we'll put it back in here. Okay. That was those. And then my start that I did, I am doing it for two colleagues. Kind of felt like it could be a bit of a pick-me-up just because it's winter and things are just a little bit crazy at work. So the one that I'm doing is a needle lot design, which I know that she's doing a sale right now. And it looks cute, but I guess I'm right now I'm sold out. I don't want to do any more sales right now. But I saw this one months ago. I bought it a while ago. It's the I Am Chaos. So it's a bird holding a match that is lit. And it says in the bottom, I Am Chaos. So I'm doing 2 of them. And I am doing them on it's on Black Dahlia fabric. This one, it is a 28 count even weave, though she's been doing a lot of dyeing of Aidas, and they look cool, and I'll show you the other couple that I bought, but this one happened to be a 28 count. And I like the purple on it for these 2 birds. I have them both on this fabric. They're really small. I'll try to be good with that, but that is what I have so far. And this I probably started 3 nights ago. A little bit of stitching each. They're each 865, like a little over 800 stitches. So that is one. And then the other one, I just flip it over, and is that one. So I was hearing, who was I hearing talk about it? It was either Crafty Gaming Jamie or Jen's Fiberweb, where they talked about if they were doing a sock, like because I think they both knit, but that they immediately cast on the other sock so that they don't have second sock syndrome. So that's kind of what I did as well. Was I started in the middle with the match, the brown part, and I started with that on the top bird essentially, and then I immediately started the one on the bottom. And so far I've done where if I finished the color on the top bird but I still had a decent enough, if I could add it to the second one, then I added it. That way again I don't burn myself out as much, and so when I complete bird number 1, it's not like I have to do the second one completely de novo. I can just pick up on the other one because I've started in different areas. So I'm hoping it makes my brain think it's a different project. But my goal is to get them both done. And there are some really cute like 5x5 frames that Hobby Lobby had. And Michael's had as well. I think Michael's really had some cute ones. And I want them both to have the same frame. They're both like besties. So I told one of them about it, that I was just doing a project, so she was happy about that, but she doesn't know what it is, so it'll be a surprise. And I definitely know work does not know that I exist on Flosstube, and I'm very okay with that. I like to keep my worlds a bit separate. So that's my start. All right, we ran through those. Next up would be my haul. And with my haul, they're not really the plans because they're kind of for projects that are not really starting yet. So one of the things, and I will do my best to post a video here, but a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, we got together last weekend. I would say last weekend, so 2 weekends ago, and to cross stitch. We both went to the LNS because she's starting Heart Sampler. And I said, oh my God, that looks amazing. But she was deciding if she wanted to do it on Aida versus linen. She's never worked on linen. She's only worked on Aida. And goodness, I'm an enabler. And I'm just like, go for it, whatever you want. And she ended up picking the Aida, which I actually have here. But, because I also got the Aida one. But I got a 16 count. So it's... She had like so much fabric for this company and all different colors, but I think she got a 14 count and I got the 16 count because 32 count is like my go-to, and I normally don't do projects on Aida, but I wanted to give it a chance. But she doesn't know that I bought it. I bought this after. I went back again later, but so she was looking for that. And she also got a little project to start on linen, so that way she felt comfortable. And granted, she finished that project in like a day and a half because she got the hang of the linen, and that was fine. But when we were both there, my LNS, so is Crafty Grimalkin, and the owner, her name is Reese. She was having a trunk show, which, mind you, I've never paid attention or understood what the trunk show was, and it was counting puddles, and it was gorgeous. If I took a video of it. I went back and took a video. It was a little busy that day, and I'll post it here. But so cute. Like, again, everyone says it, but it's so true. We're seeing those projects stitched compared to in the pictures. The pictures don't do it justice. And so all her projects that I believe are current were out there on display, super beautiful with the patterns. So I got 2 of them. And I'm hoping that the video has gone through by now. But the 2 that I got, because I thought they were absolutely great, was Sweet Summertime. Like, I mean, the picture is fantastic here anyway, but oof, it's stitched. I don't know, for me, the texture, the fact that she does like right cross stitching, but then also this black work like line art design, that's essentially what got it for me. And then the other one that was super beautiful was the Spooktacular Party. And again, with this one, right, it's the fact that this is all line art, like backstitched, just around the spirit. So there were some that were there, like there's the one with the Witch's Brew and the Snowfall with the snowman, where, again, a lot of black work design. But I didn't want something with that much black work. But I felt like these 2 were beautiful ones for me to try. So now I have it in my collection. So I got these 2. And then, of course, I had to buy, the other 2. So the other 2 fabrics that I got were, this is Atomic Ranch and Fiber on a Whim. Again, I never know who it is until it's too late. So I got a piece of fabric that I wanted to get from my LNS instead of from 123 Stitch this time around, because I shopped there as well. But this one is for my Rosewood Manor American flag sampler that I got at the needle, like with the pre-orders for needlework for this fall. And I was planning to get this one started in July, but I needed fabric, and so I got this one. This one's Cafe au Lait. Ooh, the modeling's coming out pretty good here. I would say it's pretty subtle. I wanted something that looked a bit modeled, like, it looks a little old-timey to go with the samplers on the cross stitch. So that was for this one. And then the other one that I got was Atomic Ranch Bayou. And this one I want to do for Bewitching Pixie. It's alright, this is it. Yeah, and this one I wanted something that was kind of faded, modeled. I want to say all the Bewitching Pixies are on like a chocolate fabric, but I like this one. This one looked cute. And I plan on working on a Bewitching Pixie in either September or October, wherever my yearly plans say it is. So I got the fabrics for those. So that's what I got for my LNS. And then I did do some shopping online. So on Etsy, where Black Dahlia Fabrics is, I got a couple more from her. Because there was one project not on my formal 2025 plans, but it was just one that I wanted to do for Beetlejuice. The pattern I got from Raven Stitch, or Raven Coven, and it's one of the 2 Beetlejuices that she had, and I got both. I bought those back when there was a sale going on. I think it was the Black Friday sale probably. And so this one was from Black Dahlia Fabric. Very appropriate for Beetlejuice. It is the greens and the grays and all the beautiful modeling. And I just wanted something that would fit that project, and I think this one will work perfectly. Yep. And it's opalescent, so it'll be a little shiny. She has them on these. It's alright. This was Ghost with the Most. And then the other one I got, I haven't bought the pattern, but I just thought about it when I saw this, and it's a very bright yellow. But I thought about it for JetX Stitch's Scorpion and the Frog. Like that's such a beautiful pattern, and I think it's done on a mustardy yellow. So I thought about that for this one. The only unfortunate thing, which I don't know if that was part of the situation, but there is a little splotch of pink. I would just have to see that if I ever get to stitching, like buying and stitching that project, that it may cover that area, or it'll be just part of the charm because there's so much contrast in that pattern that it'll likely make that little blip hide. Those. And then I did get some patterns because they were like on sale on 123 Stitch. And one of them, because I am a collection girly, and you give me a series and I am a sucker for the series, but one of them is one of the latest Nora Corbett mermaids. This one's the South Pacific. And yes, I want all of them. I'll buy them as I can. And I have an insane idea where I would like to have them all on one piece of fabric. Will that be doable? I'm doing my typical thing where I digitally make a collage of how it would look on fabric. I already have a fabric that I got from Fiberlicious Yummy's monthly club. I did it like twice and I said, okay, I don't need any more fabric. And it was Marine Mystic and so appropriate for a mermaid. But I have to check to see if it's the appropriate size. I think it's a fat half, which the way that I've collaged it, it should work. And then the other one that happened to be on sale that I thought was really cute was Lady Imperial. Like, I mean, she almost looks like Queen Charlotte from the Bridgerton series. Very, very royal. But I thought she was cute. Those two. And then the other ones were the Cottage Garden Samplings Fabulous House series. They were on a little bit of a sale on 123 Stitch. And I got the first house, Santa's house, from my LNS. And mind you, I've seen those patterns and I just kept looking and looking. I go, nope, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And finally I'm like, but I really want to do it. And I'm trying to figure out a way of how to make it work. I feel like I have a really cute idea in my head of where I like putting centerpieces or things on my coffee table or my dining table. And I'm thinking of the wild idea of just making a cube where, right, cube technically has 6 sides, but really it's the main 4 faces, and then you got the top and bottom. I would love to be able to put the castles or the houses on a cube. And I would have 3 cubes. I know there's the extra, the Tudor house. I am going to get that one as well, but I'll figure out if I'm going to use that one at all, or I can make it as like the top part and I just switch them around. I don't know, or maybe that'll be the one that's framed. But I would love to just make them as cubes and just have them around the house. 3 cubes of the fabulous houses. That would be beautiful. So the ones that I got, so I got Santa's house for my LNS. But then on 123 Stitch, I got Castle. So I got Greenhouse. And like, I'm getting them because they're a series. But some of these, I'm like, I don't get attracted to. And the greenhouse, I was like, it's a greenhouse. Like, she portrayed it. but not my favorite. And then I got Fairy House. And Haunted House. And I got the Tudor House, the special, the special one that came. And so, yes, I do plan to get the other ones. I just did not want to get all of them at once. So, got those. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I also got one of the A Year in the Woods patterns. I got the bear. You guys have heard me talk about it before, but in Florida we do have bears, and we have black bears, and we love them. So we feel pretty close to bears. I'm not in Florida, I'm in Maine, but my family, that's where I grew up, and my family's still down there. So I got the bear. When I'll get her done, don't know. And then I heard that she's coming out with like a second round 2 of The Year in the Woods. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get the bear because I know for sure I like that one. There's a lot of other ones that I liked from the first series, but I want to see what comes out this year with the new Year in the Woods series. So that was my haul with that. I'm like, is that it? That's it. Next part is plans, because we are at the end of January and February starts Saturday. So I thought we can just talk about what my plans are starting into February, and then we can see how things go from there. I think my videos are going to come out like second week and last week of the month this year. Plus or minus whatever happens that 5th week in a month that comes around. So goals for February, and I'll try to I've come up with like these little PowerPoint slides for each month, and I edited them to also include works in progress and finishes because I couldn't just focus on all starts. So for February, starts wise, in my like in the artsy world, it could be Funguary, so a month to just draw fungi. It's also February, so right, fairies, you can make any term into that, but really for me the big thing is Funguary. So I'm gonna start the Morel Cinema frogs from Alforst Embroidery. I am planning to do all of them, and my goal is to turn them all into pillows. So I already did the first one, which I was like, if some of y'all haven't seen my whip parade and stuff, this one I completed back in October, and this was Amanita Bistro. So this was that one, and I absolutely enjoyed it. It took me like 3 weeks, hardcore. I just hyper-focused. Did a little bit of other stitching here and there, but I really loved this one and wanted to get it done. I loved how it turned out. And so the fabric that I did this originally on was for my Long Dog Sampler, You Belong to Me. But then I found Fall in Love from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, and I said, nope, I want to do Long Dog on that one. So this fabric that I have left over is huge. And I said, okay, this is perfect enough for the frogs. So this is the other piece from it that I plan on doing them on. And I mean, it to the point that, right, this was the start of the Long Dog until I was like, nope, I want something a little more colorful. Thank goodness I only did that much. That's not going to be too hard to frog. But I already have the fabric. I already have the fibers because she uses a very similar color palette with this series. So it's going to be really easy to pick it up. So my goal is to start and hopefully finish that in February, because it's not that. It's probably a medium stitch, small to medium stitch, maybe a medium. Anyway, it'll get done. The other one that I'm going to start is Aries. Like I mentioned before, I have it in this bag, and I already did Sagittarius. I'll show her, but I plan to do Aries. And this was a similar thing where when I started Sagittarius, I started her for Nora November, and I got her done in 3 weeks. I hyper-focused and I just went for it. So I'm hoping, granted, I'm going to start both Aries and Morel Cinema. We'll see which one becomes the favorite of the two. But I plan to start her. I already went to Staples and blew up the pattern so that way I don't have to, so that way I have a copy and I don't have to kill my eyes. I've gotten the fancy fibers for the Karen Water Lilies for both Aries and Leo. And I have the fabric because it's going to be the same fabric that Sagittarius was on. So I did it on Fire Dancer from Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. And so this is the fabric because I wanted it to coincide with the elements. So this is it. And so that's Sagittarius in all her glory. Right. She's all beaded, she's backstitched, everything is done with her. And so my goal is to put where the safety pins are, on one side it's Aries and on the other side it's Leo. I'm going to have to do some major math to figure out how to evenly distribute them both, because I have both. I have Leo here as well. They have arches, right? They all have an arch. But essentially, my plan is how do I line them up so that they don't look completely wonky, right? I'm okay if it's one or two, maybe we have 1 or 2 stitches off, but I don't want it to look completely crazy. That hopefully they stay pretty symmetrical. So that is my goal for that other start. So those are really my 2 main starts. The other one would be February's Sal for the Stitch for Pride. And then the other one would be for the Winter Woodland Sal Part 4, because that one comes out February 6th. But I've been doing pretty good, and that one, Autumn Leaf Stitchery, they mentioned that it's only 5 parts, so they're going to be done in the middle of February. So I'm hoping I have a finish for that Sal by February. I'm hoping I would start and finish the Stitch for Pride motif, whichever one comes out. And then from there, this next, also plan to finish Art Deco Tree. That one is going to be done in February because, right, my plans of getting some finished products up on the brag table there, those are some goals. And I do pretty good at trying to hit some of those goals when I see them in writing. Got that one. This one's a more nebulous one, is trying to get 50% of the body of Stone Roses done. I'll try to show a progress picture of what it looked like last time. It ain't much. I've got the feet and some surrounding rose swirls. So I need to start getting some work on her too. But that's the one, that's what probably as people call a stretch goal. That would be my stretch goal. If I can get to that, awesome. If not, that's okay. I have some more finished pieces that I really want to get through. The only other surprise start that I can see in the future is either starting Heart Sampler with my friend, because it's February, right? Hearts and everything. Or to start one of the motifs from Dirty Annie's So Stinking Cute, which I bought at Marketplace, pre-ordered in the fall, because I've been thinking about them. And so that may be a surprise start from me. It's either working on a skunk or working on the Heart Sampler. The other one, let's see. I'm trying to see which ones I've got here, because I got all those. Finishing I Am Chaos, those 2 birds, they're going to be, the way that I'm going with those 2, they will be done either next week or the following week. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if I got those done by Saturday. And for some reason, am I an uproar, or I've got so much energy that I'm going to FFO them as well. So we'll see how, because I'm going to roll with those 2. Those 2 in my mind I've hyper focused on, and I may just FFO them and gift them next week that you may not see them finished, which I'm sorry ahead of time, but it may just be at that point that I get rid of them and say goodbye to them and give them to their rightful owners. So I will definitely take pictures of them as FFOs if you don't see them face to face, but those are gonna be rocketing out of here. And the other one that it was very mixed comments about that I put on my whip parade, but I am going to dye the Pretty Python fabric. So I thought to myself, because right, we just started the Lunar New Year for anyone who's celebrating. Happy Lunar New Year. And it is the year of the snake, and that would be a nice piece to work on this year. I would like to get it done. I'm gonna dye that fabric. So sometime in the month of February, I'm gonna dye it. I don't know if I'm gonna work on it stitch-wise, but that fabric is gonna get dyed. So those are my plans. We'll see what you guys see in a couple weeks, especially if this was the last time you're ever gonna see the chaos birds. Like, I'm sorry. If you want to see more progress from them, you could definitely check me out on my Instagram, because that's where I usually do stories. I don't do so many posts. I'm trying to see if I can do weekly posts, kind of like, this is what I've worked on this week. So we'll see. Usually the weekends I'm a little more active with posting there than during the weekday. But yeah, I feel like I've got lots of plans going for February, but I've also got some good progress. So I can't wait to see what you guys do. I've been enjoying Flosstube. I've been watching some whip parades and catching up on the people that I like to watch. So like, I just saw Stephanie and Allison's latest Flosstube. I have to catch up on Andrew the Runner Stitchers. I just saw Thread Gremlins. I've been watching Beck's Spins, and I've been watching Jen's Fiberweb. So I'm catching up on some people that I know they're already popular and famous, but I just haven't been exposed to them until now. So I hope you guys have a good night and stay warm. And can you believe that January is almost done? I hope you guys have a great start to February this weekend. We'll see you later. Bye.